Howdy, everybody. We're live right now. I have to restart completely because life sucks, but whatever, it's cool. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop this up. We'll start a brand new fucking project for this. And we'll make it simple. Target. Workout heart rate calculator. Sure, that works. And it's going to be a Visual C#, Windows Form application. We'll hit OK. Boom. Let this bad boy load up. So we gotta start and design everything. You know, this will actually help me burp into the microphone a lot better. I'm kidding. This will help me, or help you a whole lot better. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start off by, let's select the icon. So let's go to name. Let's change the name of the form to main, because it is the main form. And we'll go ahead and do the same with this. We'll rename it to main. That way it'll be easy to distinguish. So we did that. Let's change the icon. To change the icon, all you gotta do is you click on the form, and then you find the icon option right here in the properties dialog box. If that's not open, you can go to window, no, you can go to view, and properties should be in here somewhere. Where, I don't know exactly, but it should be in here. But 90% of the time, properties should, properties window right there. Or you can hit F4 on your keyboard. 90% of the time, it's already up and running. So, anyways, you go to the icon column, and you click it, and you click that, and then you go and select your icon. Your icon has to be a .ico for it to work. So we hit open, and it changes my icon. Now it still says Form 1 right here in that little spot, so that's fine. We're going to change that. And we're going to call it the same thing as we called the project, TWHRC. This time we're going to do version 1.1. Since this is not going to be anything different than the original one, other than the fact that it won't have gotten corrupted by whatever the hell happened to. I have no idea what happened to the old one. It's frustrated me beyond belief. But for it to work, we'll deal with it. So next thing we need to do is let's go ahead and create the file menu. And that's as easy as going to your toolbox, which is right here. Again, if you can't see it, go to View, Toolbox. And then you go down to Menu Strip. Double click it. And it should pop up right there. So let's go ahead and let's create File. And then Exit. And then we'll do an about. We'll do help, and then we'll make an about page. So that's how you get your file menus. So we'll hit F5, and that basically will run the program. No errors so far. We really haven't done much. That doesn't work. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. So that's all we've got so far. The only stuff that does work is this, and that, and of course the exit button. And of course you saw our wonderful heart icon that we had. So let's drag this out, make this bigger, because it is going to get quite, space is going to fill up. Let's add a label. We'll add a couple labels. Alright, so what we are going to be making is we're going to be making a program that will generate your targeted heart rate for when you're working out, for you to effectively get enough exercise for that 30 minutes a day. For those of you that don't know, the American Heart Association recommends that everybody below, every male below the age of 45 and every female below the age of 55 works out or brings their heart rate up to 85% of their maximum heart rate. So between 50 and 85% of your maximum heart rate is considered a workout for 30 minutes, quote unquote, to maintain good cardiovascular health. And what this program will do is it will calculate your targeted heart rate for when you work out based upon your age. It's going to require that the user inputs his or her age and their desired intensity between 50 and 85%. So let's go ahead and let's grab some labels. One, two, three. So age, intensity, and then it'll be targeted, and then we'll do one more label for maximum heart rate. Okay. So this one we can just put right here. And this one I'll put about there as well. So first things first, let's name them. This will be LBL age, enter. Then we'll go down to text. Instead of label 1, we'll put age, colon. And then for this, instead of label 2, we'll do LBL, intensity. And again, we'll type intensity, colon, enter. Then for here, we'll make it line up right there. And for this, we'll make it line up right here. And then we'll select both of them, bring them over. And then we could probably shrink this down, but we'll do that. We'll shrink the window down after we create the bigger labels that will go right here. Because, yeah. For this label, we'll just go ahead and we'll do, click that. For this one, we're going to call it label target. And then this one is going to be max. And we'll go ahead and make them say what they should. Max heart rate. Enter. Alright, that's what it is. Okay, cool. And then this one, go ahead and do target heart rate, enter. We forgot the motherfucking colon. Okay, so now we'll go back to Toolbox. And we'll go to text box. We don't need a rich text box, we just need a text box. And we need 2 of them. And what we'll do is we'll do that and that. And you have some align features up here. This is align the centers, so that way, you know, these 2 will line up over the center, but they'll probably wind up on top of each other. So align left, align right, align top, align middles, which is what we want. Boom. And the way it works is the first thing you select and the last thing you select that's how it decides which one to move. So it's going to move this based upon this, since I selected the intensity one last. And then we'll do the same thing here. Align middles. Oh, I did it wrong. So it's the last thing you select is the least dominant one, and the one that moves. So we got that set up. Bravo. The other thing I want to do is I want to align these to the right. No. Control Z. That's not what I want to do. There we go. Align these to the right. There we go. So now that looks a lot more professional as far as the GUI goes. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll add 2 more labels. But since I'm going to be defining them, or making them special compared to the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and this one's going to be LBL result. Because this is going to this label right here is going to wind up showing the user their target heart rate for when they're working out. So we're going to change the font size to 25. And all you got to do is go to the properties, go to font, click this button right here, this little, that, and then go down to size. You can also change your font type and bold, unit, and all that good stuff. You can italicize it. You can do whatever you want, boo-boo. It is up to you. It's not like Photoshop. That's why you need to use Photoshop in combination, but it can you can do some pretty cool stuff with type and whatnot in here. So we'll move this bad boy up. Select that, and then that. I want to align the middles as well, so we'll do that. That works well. And then we'll do that, and then that. And I want to align the centers, so we'll do that as well. Look at that. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do Control C, Control V. And I'm going to do that and that. Align middle. We're going to do that and that. Align center, just like that. Look at you. The only other thing we have to do is go back to this label, scroll up, change the name from label 1 to LBL max. Oh, property's not valid, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to show you guys that if you already have a label named, that if you try to make a duplicate name of something, it will pop up and tell you. So you hit OK, and you change the name, LBL MX. We'll do MX then. enter. So that's good. Now the next thing we want to do is we need to, oh, we forgot the button. We forgot the button. You need a button for this. Again, go to toolbox, scroll up, that's why I can't find it. And I'm going to make this button about the same size as the text boxes. And name, I'm just going to do BTN calculate. Enter. And for text, calculate, enter. And I'm going to take a 5-second pee break. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Might as well go ahead and use this time to promote my YouTube channel and Twitter. And alright, so we did that. Oh, here. This is always fun. This is always fun to trip people out. Yeah, that's always fun. I'm gonna wait for it to pop up live on YouTube before I continue back, but that's a lot of fun. I bet this really pisses people off. This is basically like putting a speaker up against a microphone that's feeding into it. I could do that as well, but I think the only person in here would kill me, and I would, completely understand. So we'll go ahead and squeeze you back over here. minimize you, of course. Ah, there we go. I was waiting for it to pop up. For quality's sake, there's about a 30-second delay. But anyway, continuing on, we got the calculate button up. Voila, beautiful, phenomenal. Let's go ahead and actually, see what this program does. And as you know, it doesn't do jack shit. The exit button doesn't exit, the help and about button doesn't help and about. And you can type shit in all the live long day, you can hit calculate, and then the button doesn't do anything, doesn't do a fucking thing. Cool. So, how do we actually make this program come to life? Well, you have to enter code. We'll be using C# code today. It's actually quite simple. We'll go ahead and start with actually calculating the data. So we'll go to calculate. Basically what I just did was whenever you have a button, it's got a bunch of events you can do. You can see all the events it can do right here under this event button and in the properties tool, in the properties window. And you've got your click event, which is what I just went into. There's a whole bunch of other events that we will cover later along with proper manners. Excuse me. But for now, all you need to know is this thing called the click event. So that's what I popped up over here. It pops up this private void button calculate _ click object center event args e, and I type in whatever I want to happen when I click the button. So first things first, let's go ahead and create our variables. So age is a number, right? Right. Duh. Age is a number. So let's declare an integer called age. And then we'll do equals. Important thing about the equal sign, everybody always asks this when they first start programming, is what is this equal sign bullshit? Well, equals doesn't actually mean equals. Equals is assigning something. So in other words, I'm assigning an integer called age to a value, whatever the value is. In this case, the value is going to be convert to, or excuse me, to convert to integer 32. And this is a method. And the reason why I have to do this is because what I'm entering, what the user enters into the text. Oh, I didn't name it, did I? That's a problem. Let's go back to here. We forgot to name these. This is also important. You need to name these. txt age, enter. Whoops. This is important. This is why you don't rush around. You pay attention. Intensity. There. So now I have that. Now we're going to do text age. Voila. Dot text. And basically what this code is saying is I want to create an integer called age. Now you can declare a variable without having to initialize it like I just did. Now because I'm trying to save space and time for the computer, I'm initializing it right here, right now, no questions asked. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've gotten my text box. What the user has entered in a text box can be any character under the sun. It can be anything from English words, English letters, to symbols like ampersands, at symbols, percent signs, all the way to Mandarin characters and other different types of characters. And of course, numbers, which is what we want the user to enter. So I have to convert the text, the string, in other words, the string data type, which is what a text box is, to an integer data type, which is a 32-bit integer. And I've done that. Voila. Next thing I need to do is I need to define my I need to make another variable that will take the intensity, which is going to be in percent. Oh, that's another thing I want to do too. Let's add the percent sign to this. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do this. And align right. Awesome. No heck, and save. You always want to save. Keyboard shortcut for saving in Visual Studio is Control-Shift-S, and it saves every single file you have open. The next cool thing you need to do is next thing I want to do is I want to define a variable that takes the intensity data that the user inputs into the intensity text box and save it as a variable. In order for this program to work, since it's a decimal and involving the math that we're going to have to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to declare that the data type of this variable is not going to be an integer, but in fact it's going to be a decimal space. Now there's a couple different data types you can use to define a variable as far as decimals go, and I like using decimal the most because it's the most precise. We're dealing with science, lives, things like that. You want to use decimal. The other data type that I'm familiar with is called a double. And what a double does is it literally just does 2 decimal points into the hundredths. Not really a whole lot precise. For example, if I was trying to calculate pi in this program and I use the double data type, I would not be able to calculate pi, because pi 3.14 and so on continues going on decimal points well beyond the hundredths place. So it's important to make that distinction that the double only goes 2 decimal places over. You can use it for money. That's what it was meant for. However, again, when you're dealing with money, you want to be very precise. And yes, of course, you can't have, half a penny or half a cent, but that's where rounding and things like that comes in. So the next thing we'll do is we'll give it a name, and we'll call this rate. No, we'll call it P percent, because that's what it is. It's going to be a whole number. Oh wait, we can't do that. PRCT there. And then we will again do convert dot to integer 32 parenthesis txt intensity dot text. There. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want that outside right there. Awesome. Awesome possum. So that's the first part of the math. The next part is we're going to go ahead and we're going to calculate the max heart rate that our user could possibly have. So the way you calculate the max heart rate that the user could possibly have is simple. According to the American Heart Association, this is where I'm getting the formulas and everything. According to the American Heart Association, you take the person's age and you subtract that from 220. So what we'll do is we're gonna do another variable. It's gonna be an integer because it's gonna wind up being a whole number. And we're gonna do integer, and we're gonna do max HR equals 220 minus age. And now what we'll do is we'll save, and we'll go back to here, and we will MX. Awesome. We'll go ahead and output this. So we're going to do LBL MX dot text equals convert dot to string max HR, just like that. So now let's go ahead and let's run the program. So our age is 28. Calculate. Looks like we got an issue. I hate issues. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's because we haven't got over that. So we'll do 28 and 70. So there we go. Our maximum heart rate is 192. I'm using myself as an example. I'm 28 years old, and I usually try to work out at 70%. So now that we got that label to change to 192, that's my maximum heart rate according to that thing we just programmed. Cool, wonderful. Now the next thing we need to do is we want to calculate next thing we need to do is we want to calculate, we're going to do another decimal, and we're going to do PRCT divide by 100. So that'll turn it into a decimal for us, because the way you yeah, I kind of screwed that up. There we go. So, well, in order to find out how to calculate a percentage, it's real simple. You convert the whole number, 70% in this case for the example, to a decimal, and you do that by dividing by 100, because percentage is always out of 100. So basically, we're saying 70 out of 100 or 7 out of 10. And then the last thing we need to do is define another variable. We'll call it result equals max HR times math. There. And that right there is gonna we'll calculate within the computer what the maximum what the targeted heart rate will be. So then we'll do label forget the name of this. Okay, it is result. I was right. Okay. Label result equals convert to string, and then all we have to do is result, and then that. Oh. Forgot to add the text. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run this program again. And I'm a 28-year-old male, and I want to work out 70% of my max heart rate. So when we hit calculate, we get 134.4. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to get 4/10 of a full heartbeat, but you don't really need to worry about that. The user doesn't need to worry about that. We can even make it so it'll round up or down, but this is the general premise. Now, let's show you something else. Let's say we have a completely blank. Oh, program crashed. Oh, this programmer doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So this is where we start doing what we call debugging, where we start looking for things that can go wrong with the program and try and fix them. So with that being said, we've already found one issue with the program where the text just goes and kills itself if I don't have anything entered. So I did this in the video earlier, and I forget, and I can't go back and look it, so I'm going to use Google to go and look up how to So right now I'm in Google, and I'm showing you what I'm doing in Google, and it's real simple what we can do. And that's probably what we'll wind up doing. This looks like the best thing to do. So we'll use a set of if. We'll use an if-then statement. So we'll do if. And for the sake of not being able to see, I'm going to go ahead and pull this whole window back over here so I can copy it. But I want to try and learn this as best I can, so we're going to do string dot text string dot is null or white space, and then another text age, and then that, and then we're going to do 2 ampersands. What the 2 ampersands does is it's kind of like an and or sort of thing. For example, I'm going to type the same thing, string dot, there's another white space, parenthesis, text intensity, and then oh. So before it even decides to run this code right here, it's going to it's going to check both my text boxes, and it's going to say, hey, is it empty or is there white space? And it's going to do the same thing for my age text box and my intensity text box, or one or the other. If either of them's empty after I hit calculate, it'll know, and when it knows, there will be a problem, and it will have to deal with said problem. So the next thing that we want to do is excuse me. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to do message box dot show, and we're going to say please enter valid information. And you always want to end your code with a semicolon. Basically, that's the most important part about programming in C#. And what's really cool about C# and a lot of other programming languages, if I may go off on a tangent again, is this is all object-oriented programming. These are all objects. This variable is an object. These text boxes are objects. You're learning how to manipulate them. What's also cool is you can design these. Let's go ahead and run this program. You can design these with these cool graphic user interfaces. So if I have these boxes blank, instead of crashing now, it says please enter valid information. I'm going to type in 28, and I'm going to type in 70, and I'm going to hit calculate. And there you go, that works. So the other thing we need to do is we need to, let's go ahead and show you another thing. So let's type in letters and then more letters. We have an issue. Program crashed again. My program is programmed to accept letters, or numbers, only numbers, integers and decimals specifically. So let's get out of debugging. Let's go back to Google, because I have to Google. C#. What I just did is it clears the memory. gets all the data that was in out of the memory so it doesn't hog up your computer's resources. And so the next thing we want to do is we'll go ahead and make this statement even longer. More ampersand. Try parse text txt age dot text. We don't want to do try parse. We'll do to integer. There was a better way of doing this. There we go. Okay. So you could do this for a key press event. However, we don't want to. I don't want to do that because I'm lazy. So, or I already have this right here. So we're gonna do char.is control e dot key. Oh, guess we can't do that either. That's fine. I guess we will make it the key press event. So anytime you enter something that's not a number, that's what we'll do. Key press. And all we have to do is type if it's control e dot char e dot key char. So run it. As you can see, I'm typing a whole bunch of letters, and letters won't pop up. What we could also do, instead of just leaving it handled as true, we could also do message. Because, you know, the user might not know what's going on. Show, please enter valid information. That. There. So, run that again. Anytime I hit a letter that doesn't work, it'll pop up. And if I leave it empty, oh. But now that's not working again. Oh, okay. So that's cool. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now no matter what, this is and or, not two ampersands. Ampersands is just or. So that works. Awesome. So now we've kind of foolproofed it. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to make my text box empty. For example, you see how these say label 1? We don't want them to, be like that. So we'll scroll up to the so to make those labels empty, you double click on your form like I just did, and then it loads this right here. So everything here will get executed when the form loads. So it's as easy as doing label. Let's go ahead and, alright, so this one is called, I forget the name of this one. This one's result. And this one is MX, result and MX. So LBL MX equals dot text equals, and we'll do string dot empty. And we'll do the same thing for the other one, LBL result dot text equals string dot empty. And basically what that does is it's going to make these two blank when you run the program. So they're blank until I type 28 and 80, and then I hit calculate. So then the next thing that I want to do is I want to get these to work. Okay, so and it's really easy to close an application in C#. So we're going to open up the click event for the exit button, and we're going to type and scroll down to application, and then just do exit. And 2 parentheses, open and close. Just like that. So then we go File, Exit, and that's what it does. Ta-da! So that's part of it. So now we want to create a something for this right here. And you know what? We can also do this. Let's do this first. Let's just bring the size of this down to like right there. And you know what? I don't want the user to be able to make it bigger or smaller, so we should be able to lock size. $453. Right now I'm setting the maximum size that the box can be, and the minimum size will be 624, comma 453, and I'm entering pixel sizes. And the way this works is you have your length right here, and then your height, or I'm sorry, you have your width right here, and then your height. So now what that does, I can't make the user can't grab and make it bigger or smaller, but we can still type 28 times 75, calculate. Oh, that's a nice even number. 75% of 28 is 144. Or my maximum heart rate is 144. If I work it out at 75% of my max. Go ahead and use my exit button since we just put it in. And then the next thing we want to do is we're going to create a new form. Right click. Right click and we'll do add. Right click. Oh, okay. Add Windows form. Perfect. And we're going to call you about. Sounds about right. Oh, you just shut up. And for about, we're going to change the icon, obviously. We're going to make that a heart as well. Do that. Open. And click that about there. Get rid of you won't be able to minimize it. Won't be able to maximize it. You'll just be able to look at it. So the name is about, That's fine. Text says about. We'll do about TWHRC. Then topmost, we're going to make true, so that way it's always on top. And for the sake of time, since I've been doing this for about an hour now, we're going to go ahead and just add a button. Leave that right there. And then we'll go ahead and we'll just make it a close button. That's all we really needed to do anyways. The name we'll just do btn close. And then we'll do close. Alright, so now the important part is, yet again, how do we get this to open up this? Easy. Double click that. Then you type and you gotta declare a variable. So we'll do about, no, we already did that. We'll do about form equals this. I actually do have saved on another project. I don't want to look at it. We'll just do form 2. No. Form 3. Actually, we'll do about form 2 equals new about. Then we'll do form 2 dot show dialog. Damn it, how did I do this before? Alright, basically I just opened up the other... Damn it! Oh. Gotcha. Wrong program. That's why. We'll do... I think it's that one. Oh, easy. Oh, that's because I don't have the name right. Guarantee that's why. No, I do have the name right. Fuck you. Oh, I forgot the new, that's why. There we go. So now that'll work. Okay, so now that we got the code right, let's test it. Help about, hey, look at that, close. It closed everything. We don't want that, we just want the dialog box to close. Oh, let's, alright, instead of doing that, we'll just do about. Instead of exit, we'll do close. Right? Instead of about, we'll do this. There, that works. Okay, so F5. Bring this up, about, close. Hey, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. So we have full functionality right now. We can do 28. We can do 70% of the maximum heart rate. So basically, again, what it's doing is it's taking my age, it's subtracting it from 220, which is information we got from the American Heart Association, and then it's coming up with the maximum heart rate. Then it's multiplying, it's converting this number to a decimal, 0.70, and multiplying it by this number and outputting it right here. And it's also checking to make sure that I don't have any, that it's not empty, and that I can't enter, and then it won't let me enter any letters because it pops up that. So, and then this works. We have an about page that we can put more information in here tomorrow, and then it'll close just that, and then this will close the entire application. And that'll about do it for now, ladies and gentlemen. No, that'll about do her. I'm about to go get me something to eat and watch some TV. That'll about do it. That'll about do it right there. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe. If you didn't, blow me, I guess. Other than that, y'all have a nice day.